What's going on, people? It's Mr. Dore back again with a preview show. I hope everyone's fit and well. And yes, I think this is like, I don't know if people remember, and I don't know if Dave will, 3 years ago, and it was the end of the championship season. We were playing Bournemouth, and it was like a playoff. No, whoever.
It had playoff feels, Ben.
Yeah. Do you remember David? You remember,
I remember.
We went to Bournemouth, and one of us two, if we won that game, we go up and Bournemouth won 1-0. And if you want to see the vlog, go and see it after this podcast. But now, whoever wins has got a better chance of getting Champions League football. How things turn around so quick. If not, some podcast as well with Sam, go and watch that as well. Great guy as well. Make sure everyone subscribe to Back of the Net. But the feeling right now, we're talking about Champions League football. I have never ever thought about this. 3 years long, like, we're talking about Champions League football away at Bournemouth. And respect to Bournemouth, they're playing fantastic as well. Well,
Ben, not only are we talking about Champions League football, we're talking about it with Bournemouth of all teams.
I know, but it's strange, though, David. Isn't it strange?
Well, what's also funny, if you think back to that promotion season, Ben, how much difficulty teams have had since they've come up. Those three promoted teams from our season being Bournemouth, Fulham and Forest.
Yes.
Since arguably the best performing promoted bunch of teams, maybe ever in terms of how they've managed to hold on and where they've gone. We're at top, all three of them are top 10 teams. And certainly Bournemouth seem to be this bogey rival team. Yes. So I'm looking forward to previewing that one. And you're right, Kizza Red Talk, preview Dave is here. And sadly for you, Kizza Red Talk, I have a feeling we're going to get DoreOntour's girly scream on the DoreOntour blog.
If that happens, I want that, people. Because I don't know if, all Forest fans will know, we've got Bournemouth our burger team, and we never beat them. But people in the chat as well, when's the last time we beat Bournemouth away? First one gets that right. No cheating on Google as well. Do you know, David? Just say yes or no.
I literally was just looking at.
Don't say it.
The record's not as bad as it looks, but it's not great.
Yeah, it's not great. So people in the chat, when's the last time we beat Bournemouth, and who was the top scorers as well? Get him now as well, people. I've done the survey as well. Who's going to win? Bournemouth, draw, Forest. Please get your votes in now. Before we talk about Bournemouth, David, like I said, he's got a podcast and a YouTube channel. He's got an ET Stamp podcast. Make sure you do subscribe. And then he's just started a new channel as well, people. So, David, talk about your new?
Sure. So I've got a new. Well, it's not that new. We've been recording episodes for a while. It's called Let's Strategize It Out. And what we do on this podcast, Ben, is we strategize out worldly scenarios that you might deal with in life, culture, work, and history. Anywhere from how to beat Macaulay Culkin in Home Alone 2 if you're the Wet Bandits, all the way to how to know how to climb the corporate ladder, how to look after loved ones in hospital. We strategize out anything. And I love a bit of strategy and thinking things through. So that's what that channel is. So Ben will get it in the description there. It's Spotify and audio only for now. And but we'll get YouTube happening. And which is why my camera settings are all moved around. I'm moving things around in my house.
He's moving around, people. Like I said, it's in the description, people. So if you please help David as well. He always shows love to my channel. So please, everyone, go and show love to David's channel as podcast as well, my friend. But let's talk about David. Like I said, you've not been on for a while because you've been busy doing everything. But last time I spoke to you, when was the last time I spoke to you? What game was it? Do you know?
Oh, Ben, you've just been ghosting me for weeks, actually.
I've not been ghosting you.
As part of your just the winning streak and undefeated run that we've been on. It's been a little while. And what surprises me is I firmly believe we can beat every team now. And so I'm looking at the form guide of Bournemouth. And whilst they had the great performance against Newcastle had a short, couple of day turnaround for that match and we're just really off it. And so we're in our, peek behind the curtain there. We're in our little group chat with Dore's friends. And I just want to say to you, Des Oldman, you're just negative tipping 1-1. that Forest won't win. What are you thinking? Now, another pick behind the curtain is that I'm leading Ben's little tipping comp.
See what? Why
I'm
do you
winning,
to,
right?
Why? Listen, this is unfair. I didn't talk about your top of the league and all. It's basically
I am top of the league, and the reason why I'm top of the league is because I know that Forest are going to beat Bournemouth, and everyone else is
Forest to win as well. Come on,
negative Ben.
You're not going to bring that in, are you, David? That's the problem. This is the thing, because David's top of the league and now he's getting all jolly and all that nonsense now, and people in our group has put draws and all that. So here's what it is, people. But before we do that, I'm going to go through the chat. Eve, good evening, Mr. Dore and David. Hope you're well. I'm just calling Nottingham Forest to join the seat ground while listening to both. Fraser, good morning from New Zealand, Mr. Dore and Aussie Day. Fraser from New Zealand. Thank you very much from all the way from New Zealand. People in the chat, where's everyone watching this show? I'd love to know.
Fraser, we're pressuring Nottingham Forest to do a tour to New Zealand and to Australia in the pre-season, so that we can have Nottingham Forest versus the New Zealand All Whites. Would be the best. And I don't think it's going to happen, but I would absolutely love it, so that Chris Wood can play for both teams, and then Forest can come out and play Sydney FC and Joe Lolly.
That'd be money. That'd be mad. Like I said, it's mad, because I think what it is now Forest are safe. I'm saying we're safe now. Forest can now plan where we can go in Europe, and if we do go to these, I don't know, America, Australia, or New Zealand, or what, that'd be amazing for Forest, the Forest fans who we have around the world. That'd be amazing. And
well, if you're subscribing to Forest all over the world, Ben, then you have to do an Asian trip or a trip to Australia, and think about the places where you can own. There is a chance for Nottingham Forest right now, especially with the re-signing of Chris Wood for 2 years.
Yes,
to be the. So there's what a lot of the marketing managers for the Premier League teams will do. They will have they'll do world graphs where they look at how strong their team is in their terms of support in different countries. And so Nottingham Forest has a chance to be the supported Premier League team of New Zealand, the country. Now, you might think that's not that cool, but actually that's like, oh, yeah. How good would that be, Fraser?
That'd be amazing, man.
That would be...
No, it is, David. Like,
that's what we have to work on. And we're going to be Forest all over the world. We need to embrace the international fans. The other thing I'm doing, which is big at the moment, Ben, I am recruiting. And so I'm all about the bandwagon. I want Nottingham Forest bandwagon fans. I want people coming on who are just like, yep, I want you to learn about our team now. New shin pads, Brian Clough. I send them the clips. I send this stuff. This is the time, because, Ben, we should be recruiting Nottingham Forest fans right now. And I'm working hard. I'm working hard. I'm telling you. Now is the time. Oh, it's so good. But we're up to third. But yeah, next match against Bournemouth. Let's talk about that, Ben.
Like I said, we've not got record. Like I said, I've been there 3 times. Lost 1, drawn 2. And I see people. I put the vlogs in the description as well, so go and watch them as well. But David, this is it's a massive game. But like, we're third in the league. Bournemouth, like I said, you mentioned Bournemouth. They did it was a fantastic win against Newcastle as well. Clive got the hat trick. But people in the chat, get involved. Like I said, me, David, and I have a little conversation. It's a massive, massive game. And I feel we beat the teams like Brentford, we beat Wolves, we beat Everton. And there's always been something behind it as well, because Brentford, they was unbeaten at home. Everton, we never beat them. Wolves, they had the manager rebalance as well. But this game it is massive. People in the chat, how are you feeling? But Dave, how are you feeling about this game? It is massive, isn't it? We're third place. And
all right, well, let's break that down, Ben. So the energy around every single Nottingham Forest game now is different, because we're not in a relegation fight. And even when you're in a relegation fight, you have these monumental matches against your Southamptons and your Lutons and your teams that are down there with you. And what we're finding now is we are, as a Premier League club that's at the top of the table, every match Nottingham Forest plays is an event, period. Right? It's like there are people that are traveling from internationally just to see, and they remember the day that they saw Morgan Gibbs-White play. They remember the day that they saw Chris Wood score a header. Like, every match for Nottingham Forest now is an event. So the match against Bournemouth, it's big. It's no bigger than next week's match, and they're all big points. And the ones the tough draw that we've got coming up. But, if you look at the number of points, we're 7 points clear of Bournemouth. We're in far better form. They've got a whole bunch of injuries. Whilst they've got a lot of injuries which test their squad depth, there's not as many first teamers as you would think. So they're going to come fired up and ready to knock off Nottingham Forest, who haven't been knocked off for a little while. We're going to them. They've got a good record against us. We're the bogey team. Hopefully, the complacency that came in at the end of the Southampton match is beaten out of them by Nuno. And he says, hey, guys, we've got to get at this. And I don't know how much you read into the training ground videos, Ben.
Yeah.
So sometimes I look at them and I don't know what to take. They looked a little complacent with the warm-up and nodders on it. But sometimes it's also, I think Nuno would be so considered that they would consider what they show. And so some of the coaches will also sign off on what videos get put out there because they don't want to show which players are doing well. Danilo's back in training, for example, but he's still wearing the vest thing so that they can track how far he's running. So yeah, what's my conclusion? I think we're beating Bournemouth, Ben. I do. And I think we're going to go in. I think we're going to go in with, let's talk on the starting lineup. I think Callum Hudson-Odoi doesn't play. Do you?
Yeah, and this is the next conversation, David. But people in the chat, like, we always talk about, and when Hudson-Odoi went off, and people like I said, I've said it over and over again on podcast about Jota Silva. He's more of a impact sub player, coming off the last 30 minutes. But the debate is, if Hudson-Odoi doesn't play, who is Jota Silva going to start? Is Sousa going to start? People in the chat, get involved, man. But I'd love to hear your opinion as well. Dave, who would you start if Hudson-Odoi is injured? Would you start Sousa?
If Hudson-Odoi is injured, I think Nuno will go with the next best player up, which I believe right now is Murillo. So I think he'll switch to the 3 at the back with a 4-2-1. And you'll see Morgan Gibbs White in an elevated position with Elanga playing behind Chris Wood almost as a 3-4-2-1 is what I think he will do. And with Gibbs White playing a little bit wider and given that license to roam. But you can also see Anderson in that position. That's what I think he should do. And I think
bring Murillo in.
Yeah, bring Murillo in. Play 3 at the back.
Wait. Okay, yeah, okay. Murillo in.
3 at the back. 3 at the back.
Oh, so you're on about the formation. You're on about the
So a 3-4-3 or a 3-4-2-1.
One play against Brentford away. We won 2-0. Yeah, you know what? That's a great idea.
I think he'll do that. Because I just don't think we're getting enough out of Sousa and Jota compared to Callum Hudson-Odoi. And I think we actually get more if we've got Nico and Aina pressing up the flanks a little bit more. It changes the shape. I think that's what he should do. And I think Sousa's probably got Jota covered now, actually. I think Jota, we jumped on everyone was, Jota is like.
What did I say? People in the chat, I said from day dot, Jota Silva, he's like I said, he's a player that can come on for the last half an hour. If it's 1-1 or losing 1-0, he can come on, be a S-house, like he did against what game was it? I don't know what it was. And he come on and you can tell his presence and that. And I just don't feel he's.
No, he's bottled a whole bunch of chances, Ben.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. I don't want to criticize him because, like, we're third, but we are allowed to criticize, and Sousa gives us more, and that's why. People in the chat, let me get involved. Who would you start out of Sousa or Jota Silva? I like to get involved.
That for me is a definite Sousa.
Sousa, definitely me as well. I'm definitely Sousa, but like I said, he came up with injury. Was it first half for Jota Silva, and like the game, we can say the game was won at first half, but Southampton took most of the game second half. The last 10 minutes, everyone was nervous, like myself. Charlie said, even lads tuck in tomorrow. The two informed teams, everything is a point towards a draw. But something about us about us away, tell us we might nick it 1-0 or 2-1, and that's it. I was speaking to Dave Asper. Shout out to Dave. We're going to away games, Dave, and it feels something different for the last 2 seasons now, because we mentioned Bournemouth our burger team, but I feel like we can win this game. And you can't. And I don't want to disrespect Bournemouth. I'm not coming in. I think Bournemouth, we've got to show respect to them, and especially the manager, because he's not moaned about. He's not moaned about the injuries. He's not moaned about the two main strikers who are injured. They've got kids on the bench, but it feels like we're going to every game, David, and I'm thinking like we can do something because we're third, and we're third for a reason.
Not only are we going in every game, we've also got just a quality of the team and resiliency and overall feeling just gives us a stronger output on the away matches. So the intensity and awe of, we're traveling to this place or we're traveling to Old Trafford or any of these places. And so the home form and the away form is no longer really different, whereas in seasons past, we're like, oh, goodness me, we're traveling away again. Oh, yep, we'll lose 3-2 again because we always bloody lose 3-2 away. Whereas that doesn't seem to be what's happening now. And that's also the confidence and also the skill level of the different players that we have. We just got some classier players now. So Milenkovic and Elliot Anderson are just heaps better than the guys that we had in the team last season. And the rest of the team's essentially the same. And we're just enormously better because we've got a more rounded out squad. So we should be confident and going into that. What do you think of the re-signing of the Chris Wood and Murillo, Ben?
Have you read my script? Because that's the next one I'm talking about.
We've done enough of these podcasts. We're going to just hitting through all the talking points, aren't we? So, what do you make of Chris Wood signing for 2 more years, Ben? Give us a commentary on that.
People in chat, get involved with it. How do you feel about Chris Wood? Me personally, I think he deserves it 100%. We know he's 33, 34. He's a top scorer now. And I was on a conversation with Malcolm. Shout out to Malcolm. Would you class Chris Wood as a legend or an icon now? Because he's proved it. He's a top scorer for Nottingham Forest now. And what he's done for this club this season as a number 9, it's absolutely fantastic. So for me, for the question, David,
answering your question on the icon point, Ben, you've seen a lot of great Nottingham Forest players, and you've grown up through the years. So you've now progressed to having seen 2 eras of strong Nottingham Forest squads.
Yes.
So I'm sure we all have friends who saw Nottingham Forest win the Champions League. Yeah. And when we sat there saying, how good's Brian Roy and Stan Collymore, they're sitting there going, yeah. You're now one of those people who's seen multiple eras. So, and this is I started joking with a friend of mine the other day. There's a 5-year-old kid out there who has supported Nottingham Forest their whole life, and their only memories are Forest winning all the time because they can't remember. They can't remember when they were 4, but when they were 5, they just remember Chris Wood. And for those people in that generation, Chris Wood will be a legend because it'll just be that. Oh,
legend gets thrown around way too easy, Dave. This is my problem. Like, let's talk about Steve Cooper. Like, for me, Steve Cooper is a legend for what he did for Nottingham Forest. Nuno is a legend for Nottingham Forest for what he's doing. And Chris Wood for what he's doing now, and the contract 100% deserves as well. Because, and again, people, I'll throw myself under the bus. I thought, why are we buying this player? Why are we buying this player? And now look what he's did for us, David.
That's also so the number of years on Chris Wood's contract. Chris Wood is not as the impact. I don't think the impact on his body is as significant as an Alanga style, running up and down the pitch type player. And so Chris Wood, if he's really on point with his body management, Tom Brady style from the NFL, then maybe he can also be a player who can elongate his career. Now, Forest are also Champions League or Europe. Then there's a chance Chris Wood's not starting every match next season anyway, even if he's in the form that he's in now. And so if we sign one of these, outrageously expensive strikers that we're looking at, then that's also going to extend Chris Wood's career. And he's a pretty handy player. Even when he used to come off the bench for us and it was peak Taiwo, he was still pretty handy at jagging a couple of goals. And one thing I've noticed, and I wanted to do a bit of a deeper analysis on this, is that Chris Wood is very good up until the 60th minute. He doesn't tend to score after that when he's played the full matches. Other than Leicester City, He tends to score first half. He doesn't get as many. So he's got that ceiling of the
Whoa,
number.
I love your research now. No, that's fantastic.
No, I meant to look at it
got
a little
in
bit
him.
more.
People in the chat, did you know that? I never knew that. I never knew that.
But if you think about it, he doesn't score that often after about the 60th minute. He doesn't. He doesn't score. He also comes off because he gets subbed off. But when you're sitting there and you start thinking, oh, is it time to bring Taiwo on or not?
Yes.
And you're sitting there thinking about every time you start to have that thought, Chris Wood never scores.
Yes.
He never scores in that. It's not like when was the last time, oh, it's time to bring Chris Wood off, and then Chris Wood scores and like, oh, let's leave him on. I don't remember that happening for ages, but I could be wrong. So I like it. I like it as a contract. I also like rewarding the team. And there's an energy now around Forest where this is the team that we've got, and this is the team that's going to take us. And I think squad cohesion and unity and, hey, everyone, rah, let's go. Who's earned the third spot in the Premier League? Who's earned that? Nuno and the squad of 25 players right now, right? They're the guys that have earned it. And one of the big regrets that we have is that Zinkernagel and Jed Spence and James Garner didn't get to play for Forest in the Premier League. Well, why? Why shouldn't Chris Wood be leading the line for Nottingham Forest? If we're in the Champions League, he probably should be, because he's been a big part of that. And that's the team that's gotten us there. And the players that we've got to bring in now, let's chat to the transfers. They need to be instantly, g'day, Phil. Yeah, they've got to be instantly into the starting team. Yeah, it's New Zealand, $20 though, Ben.
I've got people. I've just got a super shot. Phil, thank you. Phil. Thank you very much. Spot on, Aussie David. Great love and respect from Kiwi Phil. Thank you very much for the Aussie 20 quid. That will go straight to my phone for my.
But you agree with that, don't you, Ben? Like we should the running with the squad we've got wide by 10 new players, just so because we're now a Champions League team.
You know what it is, right? And Phil, thank you for $20. With much respect as well, people. If you do want to do super chats, please do. It helps the channel a lot. I 100% agree with you, because right now we're in the January window, and I think it's 10 days. Is it 10 days to go, or what it is?
Not long.
And we all argue, and everyone talks about
we haven't signed
a striker.
Nothing. Nothing.
we bring in. We want to bring striker. We want to bring player after player after player. I just feel we just need to bring a striker in. Striker in was one person, because we all know Nuno, that's a tight squad. He loves his tight squad, and if we do make Champions League football, and the question is, and back to you, David, do we need a big squad? And Nuno doesn't like a big squad, and we've got to deal with the Premier League. We've got to deal with whatever we're in, the Champions League, the Europa Conference. We all know we need a big squad, because we're playing Thursday, Sunday, Thursday, Tuesday. It's going to be a massive squad, and we've played, and this is trying to put it all together with Chris Wood. Chris Wood is going to be vital for his next season as well, because, like I said, he's scoring the goals, and like I said, and the contract as well. He deserves the contract, so I'm happy with that. But then let me just say about Murillo as well. And people in the chat, if you've seen the Murillo video, please watch that as well. What's your thoughts on Murillo? Sounding current? Are you, again? We all know he's gonna be a world-class player. We all know.
Well, the thing is with the contract re-signings, right? Like, we only see the glowy side of the positive. Oh yeah, Forest have re-signed Chris Wood and Murillo, right? Okay, so great. But how much are we now paying Murillo? And so you've got to back the club to have done that at an appropriate wage structure, because if they blow the wage structure strategy, then you've suddenly got, well, Morgan Gibbs-White turns up. Well, wait a minute, you're paying Murillo like twice as much as me. I want to get paid more. And then Elliot Anderson wants to get paid more. And then you've got Milenkovic saying, well, actually, I'm just as good as Murillo. Why aren't you paying me more? So whilst it always seems like a good idea, you have to take these things with the hope that we haven't blown the wage budget. And part of that is also keeping that team together. And so you want the players to be, thinking about PSR. Well, actually, let's not take too much money, so it takes too much out of our wages. But I will say this. I think last season I said Murillo looked like someone who knew he was about to break up with his girlfriend. So he was still enjoying the dates and still going to weddings with his girlfriend, but he knew that he was about to break up with her, and he looked a little bit sad and kind of enjoying it, but knew that maybe he was going to move on. I think that feeling has changed for him now these last few weeks in this new contract. I think the penny has dropped with him that, like, there's back to your point of, you can be a legend, or you can be Des Walker.
Yeah.
Right? Like Murillo has it like there's Stan Collymore and then there's Des Walker, right? Like we love Stan Collymore and his goals are great. But then there's Des Walker, right?
Shout out to Des.
So Murillo has the chance to be this generation's Des Walker for 10 years and really being the centerpiece of Nottingham Forest challenging for a long time. And he is, oh goodness me, he's the captain sometimes. Like he's captain behind Yates and Gibbs White, isn't he? And so, you know, any other team he's going to go to, it's not going to be his team the way that this is now. And I think we're seeing a more genuine smile from him, and the goal made a big difference. I think it's it's a terrific piece of business for us, but I think it's a terrific life choice for Murillo too. And I think he doesn't re-sign if it's not worth his while. Like I was, the way it's presented is Nottingham Forest are really benefiting because they've re-signed Murillo. I'm like, well, I think you'll find Murillo's getting a lot more bucks. So I'm positive for both of those. I want to keep the team together, and also from an international fan perspective, it's always easier if you keep the same guys because you buy the jersey for one season. Like how many times? Like goodness me, like Ben, you put the clips up of the players we signed from like the 2021 season. I don't know any of those guys are anymore.
You know what? It's funny, man. I went back to that video.
Those January windows where they turn, we signed 5 players and I've never heard of any of them. Like, it's
mad, isn't it?
Now we're looking at signing that Wolves. The Wolves, what is it, Cunha? What do you think?
David, you need to stop looking at my play. People in the chat, I've not gave David the notes what I'm talking about, but because again, let's. I'm trying to talk about what now, and then cut into the players that we want. Because isn't it funny, David? Like we brought Stan Collymore. We sold Collymore for 8.5. Was it to Liverpool? I think it was.
It was to Liverpool. We sold him for 8.5. Do you know how much we bought him for?
How much did we buy him for? Was it
either 1.5 or 3?
Was it 1.5 from Southend? Was it Southend? It was
something like that, yeah.
And now we've got Chris Paul who's going for 4. And people like I said, get involved. What me and David was saying as well. People, we've been linked with Wissa from Brentford, and we linked with Cunha from Wolves.
Well, the Wissa bit's just taking the piss and be like,
hey, it was. Yeah, come on, that's what everyone does, don't they? They like to do.
Yeah.
But I don't think we'll get him because of what we did to Jono. but let's.
Well, they would see us as a competitor, whereas Wolves may not see us as a competitor now because we're so further.
What's your view on it, David? What's your view on Cunha? I'm going to ask David. What's your view on him? Because let me say my piece before your piece. My piece on Cunha, right? And I've had a discussion with Malcolm. Wolves fans, there's been right now, he's been having an attitude problem. Yes, he got that 2-game ban, fighting with the West Ham security guard and all that. Got 2-game ban. And then he's come back. I think he's playing tomorrow against, I think it's Arsenal. But we've been linked with 60 million. What the hell is Forest doing? Because we're third place. I'm trying to be positive, but 60 million.
But Ben, if you want to get what value of a player is going to make the Nottingham Forest team now? Other than the CDM for about 5 million.
I'm not trying to be negative. I'm trying to say we've never done this before. 60 million.
Oh, that's not true either.
But why isn't it? Because
we paid a fortune for Peter Shilton. And we broke the world transfer record for Trevor Francis. Forest has a record of big signings that are changing the game. I don't think that's right.
No, but you know what I'm trying to say, David? I'm saying, when you look at it, and 60 million. Nottingham Forest doing it. You see all these circle big clubs linking with top players, like you can say Man U, even when Spurs bought Solanke. But when we're linked with Cunha, it's been like 60 million, breaking the record. Isn't it funny?
How much would we sell Morgan Gibbs White for?
How much are we buying for?
How much would we sell him right now?
Oh, okay.
60?
Yeah, between 50 and 60 million.
All right, so if you want to get a player in of Morgan Gibbs White quality level, star player, instantly improves your team, that's what it costs, Ben.
No, but you're not seeing my point. I'm just saying, we imagine, but like Forest buying a Cunha for 60 million, Nottingham Forest. That's what.
How's it any different to Forest buying Trevor Francis for $1 million
I
back
know it's
in.
not mundane. It's in our era. It's just, I'm telling you, like we brought. Do you remember Brett Zambalonga when we brought him for 5.5 from Peterborough? We brought him.
Kevin in the comments. Kevin's on it. Kevin knows. Kevin,
wait.
How's it any different?
Is it the same? Kevin, is it the same? Because we brought no, people. No,
Kevin, it's the same.
I know it's the same, but I'm saying I'm saying from how I'm feeling. We brought Brett Longer from Peterborough 5.5 as a striker, and I was like, what the hell is going on with Forest? Now we linked with Cunha for 60 million. It's mind-boggling for me. It's not mind-boggling for you, but mind-boggling for me.
Well, the bad news is it means that Kiwi Phil's super chats are now $780 because that's how much things on Nottingham Forest cost.
No, but it's just mind-boggling to me.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, there we go, Phil.
Oh, there we go.
You're right. You're right. It's a different mindset for us to get in, and I think that's just something we just need to get comfortable with. But what it also means is the risk on the players. Yeah, you're going to sign a player for 5 million, 10 million if it goes wrong, whatever. Like even if know, like even the Jesse Lingard signing, like that obviously went wrong and it didn't matter. Whereas if you sign Cunha for £60 million, there's like a serious amount of pressure. But sometimes these guys, like Morgan Gibbs White, delivered on the 35 to 50.
That's what I'm trying to say. I'm not saying because Cunha cost 60 million, he's going to be a flop. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying Forest could buy a player for 60 million. I'm like a kid could say, a kid supporting Forest, oh man, Forest brought a player for 60 million. You never see that before in my life. Like, and that's what I'm trying to say. We need that kind of good player at Forest, and it's not going to be cheap. That's what it's still mind-boggling towards me, saying, "Wow, we brought a top player for 60 million because we deserve to buy players for that price." If you know what I mean. It's not all about the top clubs.
I understand, but that's just how much these top players cost. The Forest squad. How much is Murillo? How much would Milenkovic cost now? Morgan Gibbs White, Elliot Anderson. Like those Callum Hudson-Odoi, all those guys are £50 million players now, aren't they?
Yes.
All of them. So if you're going to come in and have an impact on the Forest team, you're going to have to be a £60 million player. That's it.
But it's good though. It's a good feeling. It's good feeling because we're in third place. We're doing fantastically. We're 9 unbeaten. Especially away form is fantastic. Home form is fantastic as well. But away form is so much better for the last 2 years.
Oh, I got one more point for you on Cunha. This is why I like Cunha for us. If you think about who our manager is, his knowledge of the Wolverhampton players is going to be higher than maybe any other team, period. So I have a feeling he will know whether Cunha is going to be any good or not and how he will fit in. So if that's the player that we choose to go for, then I'm all on it. And so sadly, that might mean the end of my man, Peak Taiwo.
I don't know. People, but before that, I got another super chat from Phil again. 10 New Zealand dollars. Come on, people, dig deep. Sport Mr. Please, Jesus. You know what? Thank you, Phil, as well. Much appreciated as well. People,
is Phil sitting on Santa Claus's lap there?
Phil, you're Phil, aren't you, my friend? Top guy, man. Top guy. But let's say thank you for the love, man. And say that 10 New Zealand dollars will go towards my European tour. Wherever we're going to be, because I'm confident that we will make it, and it's so good. I can't wait, man.
Now can we address Michael's comment there, Ben? I think you'll find Michael. I think
Mike, how you doing?
Michael's come through in the comments saying we still need to make sure we have financial stability with PSR and build on a solid foundation. I think you'll find, Michael, that Forest have worked out how to work with PSR now, and I don't think we're going to have that problem again. And they're just smarter at it. You make a mistake once, you forget to pay your energy bill, and the energy gets cut off. You don't make that mistake again.
Exactly. So, I think let's say with no one suffering the PS4, and I think there was something in the was it Daily Mirror, whatever it was. Even next year we'll be fine as well. So I know,
especially when we're playing Champions League football.
Exactly, and that's a big venue, and it's sad to say, like, when we do get European football, money's going to go up, but it's going to be a positive thing because I know people are going to suffer. I say I'm going to suffer as well because, like I say, like, am I going to go to every European game? I don't know. I want to, but it's going to cost a lot. It's going to cost a lot. And that's
yes,
why
you are, Ben. I want the girly scream at the burner.
That's what the people, if you want to help me out, like as well, people,
and also just making you, Ben, walk around all of the big stadiums pre-match.
That's it. You know
like,
what?
Buggy, you. None of this walking around Barnet or bloody Oldham or any of these crappy places.
Even Stoke City or Derby. So
Stoke City, walking around Stoke. What's the name of the Stoke City ground?
Britannia Stadium.
Yeah, none of that anymore.
Stadium,
You're walking around DoreOntour at the Burnabout.
You know what it is, David? On a Tuesday night, going around Stoke City, I'm not enjoying that. But going to a big stadium, I can't. You know what? When it's confirmed,
all right,
I'll get jolly about it. But right now, let's just we are.
Well, what's the target? We're targeting 68 points. We think is enough to make the Champions League.
Yeah.
And we're currently on what, 44 or is it 47?
44.
44. 24 points to go.
Well, the people in chat, what's your target points? I'm going to ask David as well. What is your target for people's points from now to the end of the season? Because everyone's got it as well, and I really want to. I want Champions League football. I think I'm going to push it now, and I want to do it. But I'll say
17 matches to go.
17. Yeah, 17.
No, 16.
Yeah, I'll say 70 points, 71. I'll say, is that enough for to get Champions League football? I think it will. Man City are making a late surge.
Ben, 32 is how many more I want. 2 points per game.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Gets us to 32 plus 44, which is how many, Ben? 76.
76. Yeah, bloody hell. I'm rubbish maths, but I got that spot on.
Yeah, I'm the son of a nuclear physicist, Ben. So 74. So we've got 68, maybe, but we've got a very small number of points from the bottom three this season. So I think it might be more points than normal. I think 74 would be enough.
Yeah.
68, we could easily be in one of those positions where the highest scoring team that's not made the Champions League. So we want to win. We've got to beat Bournemouth. And maybe you can do an episode of the show. Maybe get Rads on to do an analysis of the matches and where the points come from and probability.
Yes, Rads, you're watching. Get on the stream, my friend. We need to get Rads on. Shout out to Rads.
Rads' last video was really good, Ben.
Really good. This is the thing about Rads, man. He's underrated. People don't give his flowers to Rads. I see him every game.
Of course they don't. He's a man.
With his dad, and he doesn't get the appreciation that from and respect to all Forest channels. Like I said, I'm not going to disrespect Forest. Respect to all Forest who do Forest content, but Raz doesn't get his flowers as he deserves. And like I said, we got is it Forest Focus as well? Love Forest Focus with Matt and Greg as well.
But we know which one we really like the most, though, right, Ben?
Who?
The Garibaldi Red podcast.
Oh, and Max as well. Shout out to Max as well. The little snap. I love Max. Match Day Max, man. Don't you miss Match Day Max?
Oh, I miss Match Day with Max too, but he's just moved on to better things.
Shout out to Max, man. He deserves everything, man. He's on Sky Sports now. I need to see more of him on Sky Sports, though. I'm not seeing him much, but shout out to Max, man.
Shout out to Max.
He's worked hard for it.
All right. Well, I'm tipping a 1-0 win for Nottingham Forest. I think it'll be a Dore affair, and I think it'll be a Chris Wood goal. Is what's going to happen.
That's tomorrow.
It's today for me, but sure.
Today, right? Okay, people in the chat. But shout out to I got shout. Shout out to Justin. He's a member to the channel. I like to see DoreOntour at the MCG. Yeah, MCG. What ground is that?
The Melbourne Cricket Ground, Ben. Come on.
Oh my, unbelievable, Justin. That way. Oh bloody hell, Justin. Yes. If Forest go on tour.
Liverpool played at the MCG, and there's 80,000 people singing their damn song.
Wow. Imagine Forest going to this. Justin, if we get there, I'll come and see you, my friend. I'll definitely come and see you, Justin, my friend, man. People are going to look for the points. Charlie says 68 to 70. Michael says 68. Clark says 68 as well. Paddy Irish says 69. Cunningham's not worth it, not even half. Shilton and Francis was a 70 billion. Yes, them players were fantastic, man. Fantastic, especially Francis. Rest in peace, Joe Francis, as well. Hi Ben, hi David. Davey, I hope you're all my friend. Score prediction as well. 2-1 to Forest. Everyone's saying 1-1.
Davey.
Come on, people, man. But it's not a bad result, though,
Guys,
David.
we're third. Only Liverpool. Like, we can beat everyone. And there's no difference. We drew 1-1 with Bournemouth in what was the opening match of the season.
Yes, it was.
We've improved a lot since then. They got a bunch of injuries. Ben Dore's going to take us away right now and tell you why. Ben's 3 points for why Forest are going to win tomorrow. Today.
I personally think the Forest will win tomorrow. I said 2-0. I think we've got a great team. We've got a great defense. Murillo signed his contract. Wardy signed his contract as well. We've got a great goalkeeper, Sincels. We've got a great team, man. And I've got to be positive. I'm saying it 2-0 Forest. And that's me. People in the chat, what's your opinion? Like Pai, Charlie says 1-0, 2-1 Forest. Price 3-2. He thinks it's gonna be a good game. It's gonna be a good game. And as well, I want to win, but and respect to Bournemouth, I want teams like Bournemouth and Fulham breaking that pack as well. Like we beat Bournemouth. When we beat Bournemouth, I want other teams doing well. I want Bournemouth in the Champions League. I want Fulham in the Champions League. Them teams, but Forest, I believe.
I want those two teams in the Champions League, Ben, because we'll beat them.
I'm just. It's good though, David. Isn't it good? You can go to Australia, and I was talking about your club and not the Man Cities, the Liverpools, the Man U.
No,
I tell you what, Dave, tell everyone how does it feel? You support Forest and in Australia, because I want everyone to know.
I went to watch Joe Lolly's team that he plays for in Australia, Sydney FC, and he scored 2 goals and had a third disallowed. I almost sort of saw a Joe Lolly hat trick in the first half. And what was amazing for me was just a bunch of legend Forest guys just wearing Forest jerseys.
Who was there? Around. Who was there? Just give a shout out. Who was it? Do you remember?
Oh, I can't remember their names. God, they're absolute legends. And I must have talked to them for like 20 minutes just about. And I even knew you and all of the different channels. And so it's just so much fun to be a Forest fan right now. And what you're also seeing is, your occasional Forest hat or a thing, just people just wearing it casually around. It just makes such a difference. And when you think about the scale of those merchandise sales, what that means to the club, that's how we can afford new contracts from Murillo. That's where the extra bucks is going to come from this club to be able to lift us to the next level and lift the city to the next level and do a whole bunch of stuff. Like David Boulderman's coming back to Nottingham in a couple of months, and he's coming and spending big bucks on restaurants and hotels and beers and all sorts of stuff. So, that's the really good news and what this can do for the city of Nottingham. And it's just a great time to be involved. And let's get at it.
It's a good feeling, man. And people chat like
3. Justin, as he saw 3 at the Australian Open last week. You Reds.
You Reds. If there's any foreign Reds I'm watching this, tell me how it's feeling. Like David showed me how I feel. Like even in Nottingham, and I'm going to work, and people like will say, "Oh, you're right, Dore." I'm like, how does it be a Forest fan? And it's just, it's not sunk in, David. It's not sunk in.
It's a different experience for you. Like in a Sydney office, right? There will be every single team will be supported by people in the office, and so when you go in, it's like, oh yeah. So everyone's at the moment. A lot of people say to me, "Oh, I know a Forest fan. Yeah, I know a Forest fan." And then I was, "Oh, geez, aren't they having a good time?" Yeah, buddy, Dave Boulderman. Yeah, God, he's having a good time at the moment, isn't he? And so I must have received at least 30 text messages. I bet you're having a good time at the moment. So it's just a great time to be involved, and a great time to be involved in the DoreOntour channel. And can I just say, as a sign off, Ben, next season, if Forest make the Champions League, can I please be in the little warm up thing, the Dore and Friends? I'm like not good enough. I'm not good enough to make your little Jamie's in there and Welsh Dave and I'm not in there.
I'm not in it. No, I've got to put a Champions League anthem. Right, I'm just waiting for a Champions League because if I put a Champions League intro on there, I'll get copyrighted. So I'm just looking for a Champions League music, so I can put you lot on there.
Yeah, well, when we make that, I better be I'm the Champions League one, Ben. That's what I want.
Champions League, it's good. Oh, people, we're going to sign off of that. We have got to sign off of that because it's like it's a good feeling. We've got a big game tomorrow against Bournemouth. I'll be there, people. I'll be there with Dave. There's the usual lot. I've been there. It's my 4th time going there, and I've not won there. And shout out to Sam from. If people want to see that, go and see that. It was a great podcast, and even he's feeling fantastic. And it's a big game for them, and it's a big game for us. But I personally think
every game's a big game for us now, Ben. Every Nottingham Forest play, it's an event.
But I don't want to be like over. Like, it's good to be confident, and I want to be confident. But I don't want to be like going into every single game thinking, "Oh, we can win." But I feel we're beating teams, and no disrespect to other teams, we can go there and win. Bournemouth, yes,
we can beat every team.
We can beat every team.
I have one last thing for you, actually, which really makes me happy. Mr. Evangelo Marinakis, you look in really good health at the moment. Whatever you are doing, mate, it is working. And I think you just seem to have everything in order. So I always say in business, Ben, that when you're fit and healthy and everything in your life's in order, just everything seems to work. And it seems like, Mr. Marinakis, you're just looking really good, dude. I'm really happy for you.
Yeah, you know what? Because we don't really speak a lot about Mr. Marinakis, because when we got promoted and he stood at Market Square and he says he wants to achieve big things. And people, when you hear people saying they want to do this, like you can talk about the Man U owners, like. And then
I remember the TalkSport guy. What's the geeky guy in TalkSport was making fun of it.
Simon Jordan.
Oh, one of them. He's like, I was at this event and Marinakis said this, and I thought he was joking. Yeah, he's joking now.
He's joking now, exactly. And this is why before we end this, I want to praise Mr. Marinakis. We can praise Nuno as well because he's been fantastic on the pitch. But we've got to praise Nuno because, yes, Olympiacos is his baby. But Forest is doing so good, and we look in the news and we'll see what's happening, especially with Chelsea, their owners, Man U's owners, Arsenal's owners as well. But Marinakis, he puts his money where his mouth is, and he does the business, and he wants to win, and he is a winner. I don't know if have you seen a documentary with him that was on Sky, David?
Oh, I won't have access to it. I'll have to check it out.
Yeah. No, I'll send you a link. No, it's on YouTube.
I was on YouTube. Oh, I'll check it out.
I'll send you.
Put it in the comments. Link that. Dore's going to link that in the comments.
I'll put it in the comment. But if you want to see it, it is a fantastic.
Let's go, baby.
It is a fantastic thing. What he did. Where is it? Where is it, Mr. Marinakis? It was a fun. Oh, here it is. I'm gonna put it in the chat, people. Go and watch it because it was a fantastic video that he did. Like, he wants to win. He's making Forest. He's making Forest as a business as well. And right now, I'll put it in the link, people. So go and watch it. Go and watch it now. It is a fantastic video, and he wants to win. He really wants Forest to do well, and he means it. And that's why I got to praise Mr. Marinakis. And I know he watches my channel, same as Matildas and the rest of the lot. But okay,
I'm sure Mr. Marinakis is 49 and a half minutes deep on a DoreOntour podcast. It's his number one thing to watch each week is he's flying over from Greece into Nottingham.
You know what? I'm David, and the best thing about it, he's always at the seat ground, and you see some owners not at their grounds, but he comes to the ground, he gets angry, he smashes the TV because he's passionate about the club. But it's good to see your owner come and see Nottingham Forest, and I'm loving it. Right, people, we're going to end that. David, it's been a pleasure, my friend.
Pleasure always, Ben. Forest 1-0.
Like, so make sure people, he's got a podcast, he's got a Spotify as well.
Let's strategize it out. Give us a follow on Spotify.
It's in the link, in the description as well. So, like I said, people, before you go to bed, go and watch that. I've got loads of vlogs. If you can't sleep, go and watch them. All of them in the link in the description as well.
Go just turn on your TV and just leave doors on and just go through all of them.
Exactly. Go through all of them, people. It's like it's good feeling being Forest fan. And for me, go to every game, looking up to go to every game, and people that take the time to watch my vlogs, like David and the rest of the Forest fan base do. I'm thank you very much and appreciate it a lot. But yeah, people, I'll be there tomorrow. It's an early bus drive for me. I'm leaving Nottingham 7:30. But Forest fans, enjoy it. Just enjoy it. We're third in the league. Champions League football is close. It's so close. If you are rewatching this, if you agree or disagree that me, David said, in the link in the description.
No one ever disagrees with me, Ben. They always think that I'm right.
They do privately. They do. I'm joking.
Nah, they don't. They know that I'm right. You know what subject I'm most right about, Ben, but we're not talking about that today.
But yes, he's always right, people.
Not talking about that subject. Always right.
He's not talking about that subject. But
all right, Ben, let's get out of here. Come on. I've got to go do some work.
Right, people. I'll be here tomorrow. Watch out for the vlog. Watch that African reaction. The review show will be on Sunday, 12:30. Enjoy it, people. Nottingham Forest beat Bournemouth for the first time for ages. Peace and love. Up the bloody Forest.